If you ask a Hindu to explain the origin of the caste system, he might certainly begin with the story of the Hindu god Brahma, creator of all living beings. The root principle of the Indian caste system is tantamount to division of society in 4 major castes. Each part of Brahma's body imparts a function to the caste. The Brahmin caste is bound to sacred rituals. In its ranks are priests and scholars. They are said to have come out of the mouth of Brahma. Next in line are the Kshatriyas, the caste of warriors, kings, and princes, said to have come out of Brahma's arms. The Vaisyas are bound to the clan, and among them are merchants, craftsmen, farmers, and shepherds. They are said to have come out of the thigh of Brahma. Last in the caste system come the Sudras, an inferior caste that includes servants or laborers issued from the feet of Brahma. There is, however, a 5th category in Indian society, the Dalits. They are said to have not been born from Brahma, and as such are considered as pariahs. They are only allowed to handle tasks considered as impure, such as the handling and quartering of animal carcasses, the cleaning of sewers and latrines, and the cremation of the deceased. Dalit means oppressed, broken, outcast from Indian society. They are subjected to this day to great discrimination still. Long ago, their impurity was considered such that the simple fact that a Dalit literally overshadowed a Brahmin was punishable by death. Hence the label, Untouchables. They total today about 170 million people, approximately 17% of Indian population. If the name and accomplishments of Mahatma Gandhi, or even that of Nehru, were familiar to me, I had never heard of Dr. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, even though he was the chairman of the drafting committee of the Indian Constitution. It is during a solidarity mission in India for the benefit of a non-profit organization fighting for the development of social, economic, political, and spiritual rights for the Dalit that I heard his name for the first time. Today is April 14th, 2012, and we are in Pondicherry in the local office of NPO Adecom Network. The Untouchables of India are preparing to celebrate the 121st birthday of the liberator of the Dalits, Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar. Under the sun of the drums and raining rose petals, French marigold, and jasmine, they cultivate the hope of one day seeing this caste system crumble forever. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, popularly also known as Baba Saheb, was born in Mao, Madhya Pradesh, a central Indian state. Born into the Untouchables Mahar community, who gave its name to the state of Maharashtra. From his tenderest age, Dr. Ambedkar is subject to discrimination due to his untouchable status. He had to remain seated in a corner of his classroom, and his teachers avoided touching his notebooks. But it did not keep Dr. Ambedkar from pursuing his education. He distinguishes himself with his intellectual qualities, leading one of his teachers to mention his case to the attention of the Maharaja of Baroda, who agreed to fund Dr. Ambedkar's studies. He subsequently goes to Bombay to study at the prestigious Elphinstone College. Later, in 1913, he attends Columbia University in New York and studies economics, sociology, history, and anthropology. In 1916, he enrolls at the London School of Economics and Political Science and completes a doctorate in economics, upon which he became a barrister at law with the London Bar Association. In the early 1920s, upon returning to India, Dr. Ambedkar opens a law practice in Bombay, but falls victim to discrimination due to his untouchable status. And failing to establish a clientele, he opts for militancy. His popularity begins to rise among the Untouchables. He organized several peaceful protests and conferences which gathered tens of thousands of Dalits. The struggle for the abolition of the caste system was on its way. In 1935, Baba Saheb actively opposed Gandhi, who, though he wished to improve the living conditions of the Dalits, didn't want to abolish the caste system. From there on, Dr. Ambedkar tirelessly fought to restore dignity to the Dalits. Relentless, Dr. Ambedkar convinced the courts to grant access to the Mahad water tank, which had previously been banned to the Dalit. In 1947, India became independent. Nehru appointed Dr. Ambedkar as law minister. He was also in charge of drafting the first Indian constitution. With this document, he established the right to education of the Untouchables and banned discrimination not only against the Dalit, but also generally against women. Nowadays, it is forbidden to qualify an Indian citizen as untouchable. Nevertheless, this legislation threatening to radically upheave social order, it was not to be enforced, because it was feared that with the abolishment of the caste system, Hinduism had little chance of survival. Identifying Hinduism as the driving force behind this rejection, Dr. Ambedkar reckoned the Untouchables never would be able to emancipate themselves and climb up the social ladder. Starting in 1956, he organized far-reaching campaigns of conversion to Buddhism. Dr. Ambedkar died December 6, 1956, and was awarded posthumously the Bharat Ratna, the highest civilian award of India. Even if the word untouchable is now banned from use, the concept remains in Indian society. Today still, newspapers every day relate the horrors inflicted upon the Dalit: abuse, slaughter, arson, and rape. Dr. Ambedkar is an icon to all Dalits. His portrait is often displayed prominently in their households.